Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. Well, plots are thickening. In kind of continuation of the discussion about Klein tools and the big boxes, it seems pretty clear that Lowe's now is going to really push Klein. In fact, a lot of Lowe's stores have their own dedicated Klein areas. And the one I went to actually had about a 5-foot pair of lineman pliers. On a kind of made out of cardboard on a display, and I thought that would be a great man cave thing. I hope they raffle that off. I might suggest it, or maybe just ask if they'll sell it in a while. But it's actually a big deal apparently for Lowe's because they're really advertising it and they're pushing its own tool section. It's actually, the one I went to was separate. You literally left kind of all the Craftsman and Cobalt and everything else and went out down an aisle and back into the Klein section. The Klein section had almost all Klein. There were a few other things, some safety gear and things like that. And they were really getting into Klein's kind of version of the pack-out system. But some interesting things. One, Klein has stuff like this for sale. If you look at that, yeah, that's a laser-etched sort of a flag right there, although I think I can come up with some symbolism too by opening the pliers. I don't know if they intended that, but anyway, great little pair of lineman pliers, dipped handles, crimpers, and this is made in America. And not only does it say that right there, but it's got the flag on it. So talk about, made in your face. Another thing, though, at Home Depot I thought was interesting. You all know this is one of my favorite tools. I have a lot of favorite tools, but this thing, I would pay twice as much for this. I mean, it is just outstanding. It is a beast, like a 9-inch set of side cutters. Anyway, what would be better than, paying twice as much for one of these? Well, how about this? Paying 1/4. This is straight off the shelf at Home Depot. 9-inch HD diagonal cutting pliers from Klein. Right there. Exact same plier, made in the USA. I could kind of get a feel for it. It seems to be loose enough. Some of these you got to watch out for. But there it is. $10.02, I guess. That's basically 1/4 of the price. I mean, that's ridiculous for such an outstanding tool that I would actually pay more for after I started using it. But that's not a good sign, and what it seems like is that Klein is being edged out of the Home Depot space more in the areas where other tools, especially Milwaukee, can directly compete with the Klein tool. It sounds like, from a couple of people I talked to who work at Home Depot, that they're going to move out, get rid of all of the kind of conventional hand tools that Klein makes, as well as some of their specialty items. But then they're going to maybe keep some of the testing equipment that really doesn't have, affordable peers. And it's way out of Milwaukee's wheelhouse at the moment. Of course, that could all change. But what it sounds like is Klein is ramping up the Made in the USA thing. It's pushing itself at Lowe's as a big portion of why you might go to Lowe's. You're not going to be able to miss it. It's not buried on some side electronics aisle like it was often at Home Depot, or sprinkled throughout the store. That was another thing I noticed. Depending on what the item was, it might be on an end cap somewhere, or down by the wires, or in the tool area, or by the electrical switches and light bulbs or something else. But this definitely is an active move that Klein is also, that's new to me. I don't know how long they've been doing that. I did notice a few other pliers, Klein pliers, have been laser etching flags. But apparently there is some change there. So maybe Klein is embracing this and really trying to remarket itself, or make sure that people understand certain aspects. The more I thought about that, if Klein is pushing the USA part, well, all of the testing and electronic, measuring stuff, multimeters, etc., is all made overseas, as far as I can tell from Klein. all the circuit testers and stuff. So the hand tools, they could really push for an actual made in America lean, which then Lowe could market that. However, there are some interesting other things going on. And that'll be for another video, but I'll give you a hint. We've got Weehaw here. This is at Lowe's. Multi-driver here, made in the U.S. Now these have been advertised for a couple of years, but I just got my hands on one. Klein has a direct competitor to this, a couple of them, and some of them are not made in America and cost more. So we'll get into that, but apparently the plot is thickening. And with that, Doc out.